Joe,
Phil?
welcome back to Ball Bros 3.
Oh, I'm ready to go, son.
It's been a little while.
It has. So we got a lot to talk about as we usually do. A lot of updates.
And I just want to inform all our fans out there that we will not be having a special guest today because our content is pretty good.
Yeah, and there's only so many people that can be the savants that we are when it comes to this.
I just don't think people are educated enough on what we're going to be talking about.
They're not.
Yeah, and they don't take the time to do it.
No, and we have put a lot of time and effort into documentaries to make sure that we have all the facts.
Absolutely. Now, Joe, we're walking up here and getting ready. It's the Friday before Father's Day weekend.
Yep, sure is.
Any exciting plans?
I think you've asked me this question on some of the other podcasts that we've done, and the answer is always the same. I got some soccer to do.
Yeah. Guess what? I'm going to be spending my Father's Day in lovely Albany.
Yeah, lacrosse.
Lacrosse, yeah. My wife and my other daughter will be in Maryland.
Yeah.
I'll be in Albany.
All right.
And very interesting fun fact, Mother's Day, now my daughters have been playing sports since they were 5. A lot of overlap in May. Never, ever have we ever had a game on Mother's Day. It's like a sacred day. Father's Day, no one cares about.
Well, it's funny. In Maryland, it must be the opposite because we always have soccer on Mother's Day, too.
Oh.
They give out the roses to the moms.
Oh.
Very nice. For Father's Day,
Nothing. Father's Day is another Sunday.
Well, it's interesting about, moms care about Mother's Day. I don't think dads care. Like, it's not my thing. I actually find it awkward. When people say Happy Father's Day, I'm like, oof, it just seems strange.
I'm also one of those people that is not very big on their birthday.
Hate birthdays.
Yes, and I do see people that get very caught up in their birthdays. Super weird.
Yeah. I mean, once you're 21, 22 years old, who cares? And it's the same thing. When people say, hey, happy birthday, I find it awkward. I don't know what it is. I'm not big on it. Andrea cannot stop wanting to buy me things. And I tell her, I'm like, please don't buy me things. And she still does, which I love her for it. I know she likes to get presents. But she knows I'm always like, oh. Like the one time she bought me.
What do you buy a guy that's got everything?
I mean, I don't have everything. But the one time I felt terrible.
I can't wait to hear this.
She put some time and effort into it, and she thought that I would want this decanter that was like the shape of the world.
Right.
And you could look at the face like, hey, I think you're really going to like this. And I open it up, and I'm like,
Well, I'm going to tell you this. After she hears this episode, that decanter is going to be smashed in the driveway.
We send it back.
Sometimes you swing, sometimes you miss. I mean, all right? We hit them, sometimes we miss.
Well, and I get it. Like I don't know what you would buy me. Like I like even my dress is weird. Like you could never buy me clothes. You could buy me some cigars, but I'm opinionated.
You like sneakers?
I do.
Yeah.
But for some reason, again, I'm not hating, but the sneakers that would show up, I'd be like,
yeah,
these are all right, but they're not exactly the ones that I probably would have
They should just shower you with love and attention.
That's all I say.
Yeah,
hey, I'm good. I don't need anything. We can, especially on the birthday, I'm like, I would be fine if we just woke up and we weren't going through exchanging of the pleasantries and the happy birthdays and all that, but...
You know what, I would tell you this. I do find when it comes to birthdays, I would find most moms just want to be kind of left alone and relax on Mother's Day. And I feel like a lot of it is more like Grandmother's Day. You do a lot of stuff spending time with, like my wife does a lot of things on Mother's Day that she probably wouldn't want to do. It's not really her day, but I feel like women, and Bree's not a big birthdayer either, but I do find more women are into their birthdays versus men.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yep.
But you see some of these people that take their birthday and they turn it into like this month-long fiesta.
Oh, now when I do think about guys that probably are hugely into their birthday, and you think about Spartan Surfaces people, I bet you Jake Cleary is a big birthday guy.
Shout out to Jake Cleary.
Anybody who likes Disney that much definitely likes their birthday.
You know what? When he hears this, we'll find out.
Yep.
And I know for his birthday, I know where he would go. It would be Disney.
It would be Disney.
Or have or he would have an X-Men theme party where people dress up like Wolverine and...
But only adults.
Adults.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like an adult X-Men party.
Yeah. He thought we were going to say something nice about him. No, that's not happening on the Bald Bros, ladies and gentlemen. But as we kind of move on here, we thought a lot about this. Our fans have been pouring in emails, DMs. Like it's been a lot to manage, but when we touch on a lot of different things, summer, like the sports is a little bit slower in the summer, I think, but something that's near and dear to my heart and Joe's, We are huge in the crime,
We are.
documentaries, and ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bald Bros of Flooring Crime Edition.
Bald Bros
Now,
Crime Edition.
I just want to put
Can I tell you a fun fact about DMs?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
This just shows you that we're older.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what a DM was. Like I heard the Lizzo song, and she's talking about the guy from the Minnesota Vikings sliding into her DMs.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, what the hell's a DM? I had to look it up.
Yep.
Is that strange?
It is strange, and I'll tell you what, I don't think I've ever received a DM outside of the Bald Bros podcast.
Yeah.
Would get it.
Outside
but
our fan DMs. No.
Yeah.
Nobody has ever slid
no,
into Joe Blodgett's DMs.
no, not me.
But you know what? Now that we talk about this, I think I'm insulted by that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think we're getting a little old here, Blosh.
Maybe.
Yeah,
But a bucket list.
bucket list thing.
If anyone wants to slide in my DMs,
Yeah,
I'm okay with
Yeah,
it.
it's like when you get your ID checked at a bar. They're like, hey, can we take a look at your ID? And you're like, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm almost 50, but thank you.
Now,
And it'll
also,
be reflected in your tip.
It would be. I've also not slid into anyone else's DMs. And I don't know if that's only like you're hitting on somebody.
I don't even know how to do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sometimes I get a message on like Facebook Messenger and I can't find it. But like, you have a message and I don't even know where to look on it.
Well, again, Andrea sits around and watches the short videos all the time. And all the ones that she thinks are good, she sends to me.
Oh.
So
Yeah. We do a lot of that.
Yeah, 3 days later, I'll get on there and there's like 17 short videos I have to watch.
I hate when I see a notification. I can't find where to get the notification away. And that's where it is.
All right, we'll get it.
All right. Well, one disclaimer for all of, we know we have a lot of people that listen to the Bald Bros, whether driving around, picking kids up from school, those type of things. We will be touching on some things today. Little disclaimer when we talk about these cases that if you have kids that are younger, you may want to throw some headphones in or something like that.
Yeah, the world's crazy. And when you touch on crime, you got to be ready to hear the facts.
You got to be ready to deal with crazy.
Yep.
So we're going to probably focus primarily on 4 cases that are really intriguing to us.
Yeah.
And the first one's going to be the Menendez brothers case.
Yeah.
And to me, I'll tell you, I watched the documentary. That was some bad acting.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh my God.
Well, there's a documentary and there's a show that they did.
I saw the show. The guy looked like he was made of wax.
Yeah, there was a lot of weirdness in the show. The biggest part that I didn't realize about the Menendez brother was the one actually had a wig on all the time.
Wild.
Yeah, and people were sending him, he would buy $2,000 wigs and physically glue them to his head. And I was like, that can't be true. Sure enough, you look it up. There he is. And then now when you kind of go back and look at the pictures, yeah, dude's definitely wearing a wig. Now he's bald as we are. You know what? If they get out,
We'd love to have them on.
we'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, stay tuned for the Menendez brothers if they get out in studio. We'll have them in studio.
In studio. He's a bald bro.
Yeah. Now, question. I have my thoughts, and I'll just lay it out on the table. They 100% did it.
Well, 100%. Obviously, it was never about whether they did it or not. It was, why they did it,
Yep.
and should they stay in jail.
No.
And 100% they should stay in jail.
Absolutely.
So they actually should never be on the Bald Bros
Right.
podcast because when you look at it all, and when it's all said and done, you're in your 20s. You say your dad did things, and things happen in your life. So when you're 22, 23 years old, you decide to kill your parents. And I'm like, you could have just left.
To me, no matter how traumatizing your childhood or whatever it was, whatever happened, like stuff happens, you could leave, you could report them to the authorities. But the second you open a trunk and walk in with double-barrel shotguns and start blowing people away, you stay in jail for that. Like,
And your mom?
you shoot your mom. Like, here, the thing is this: when you do that and when you walk in and just the crime scene, it looked like,
Oh, it's terrible.
oh my God.
Brutal.
You can't get out of jail because guess what? You let them out of jail, they shoot somebody else. It seems like if things go bad, they get angry.
Yeah.
Shotguns go flying.
And it's one of those things, it was one of those things that happened in the 90s. And you actually didn't really think about it again until these documentaries came out and someone got the wild hair up their ass. It's like, you know what? These guys should get out. And then you watch it someone's dead wrong on this. Those guys should stay exactly where they are. Anyone that shoots their mother is an animal. Right. And you just stay wherever you are. And then they go on that shopping spree where they're buying Corvettes and Rolex watches. And you're like, come on. And the family is partly saying that they should get out.
It's insane. Now, I think a lot of this, you know what I think in society now, people love the publicity, and people are coming out. They're talking about it. No one was talking about the Menendez brothers forever.
Never.
And then now all of a sudden they are. Try to get them out. You go in, you premeditate shooting someone, you're in forever.
You're done, Ski. So I think at this one, the Bald Bros are aligned with this.
I would say our alignment, Bald Bros, stamp of Menendez is stay in.
You stay where you are.
You stay where you are. You don't come out. Try to get some extra glue. Try to get some hair. Yeah. Do whatever you want to do, but...
Get that wig back, dog.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it ain't working for him. He doesn't look as good as we do, Bald. I'll promise you that.
Oh, I know. Well, you know what else, though? We get ourselves a little bit in the sun. And when some bald guys get a little bit of color, we look a little bit better.
You know what? You nailed it. A little bronze goes a long way on the bald brow.
It really does.
And that guy's pale ale because he only probably gets 1 hour a day to kind of walk around that place.
Walk around the pen.
Yeah.
All right. So the next case, John Benet Ramsey case, something that's been in the news forever, multiple documentaries, multiple platforms. I feel like anyone who wants to pay for a documentary, they're going to pay to make them look one way. You pay to look away.
Yeah.
Initially, where are you at on this one, Blash?
You know, I would say shame on Netflix because they put out, to your point, that last documentary, and the whole premise behind it was to look away from the facts.
Yep.
And to me, the facts are 100%. I couldn't tell you which one did it, but I know something went down with the family in that house, and it happened. There's no intruder on Christmas night. Who hangs inside someone's house for 10 hours waiting for you to come home? It doesn't make any sense.
No, to me, I am, again, completely in line with you on this one.
Now, this one I got super obsessed with, and I didn't realize Reddit. I don't know if you're on Reddit.
Oh, I know Reddit.
Well, there are subreddits for just about everything. And there's people that have been studying this case for 30 years. And
do these people have jobs?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's the same thing that go protest for 10 days. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, I've said this before. I'm like, I just don't have anything in my life that I care that much about that I would go protest. Stand in the cold with a sign. I'm like, that sounds terrible.
I'm the same way. I'm not a big crowd guy unless I'm at a game.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, it has to be a good game for me to go to.
Well, it's like the same thing with bars. Like, I love being at these crowded bars in my 20s. I show up to a crowded bar now. I'm like, oof, not my style.
If I don't have a seat, I think I'm leaving.
So true. Yeah. That's like the prerequisite. Like, any chairs left in there? Not happening.
Oh, I'm going to be standing for 18 minutes? That's not going to work.
No, it can't happen that way. But the thing about the John Benet case, it's like I went down this rabbit hole, and there's this big, giant fact that Netflix never touches on, and it's the pineapple.
Oh.
Do you know about the pineapple?
No.
There's a bowl.
You were going to explain this to me, but then we saved it for the show.
Yeah, so there's a bowl of pineapple that was sitting on the table.
Oh, yep. Okay.
With the mom's fingerprints all over it, and they all say, "We didn't give her pineapple," and they found pineapple in her stomach, like undigested. So when the cops are asking, no one gave her pineapple. So what you're telling me is, whoever this murderer was that waited in the house on Christmas night sat around and ate pineapple with her, and then
I saw that before. I'm completely aligned with you on this. My opinion, somebody in that house killed her, whether it was intentional, unintentional, whatever happened, and then they tried to cover it up.
100%. And the note, they said it's the mom wrote the note.
Absolutely.
And now I've read of all the Reddit, and I even listened to a podcast and a book on tape about it. I've really dove into this one.
Okay.
The one that makes the most sense is that the brother.
I agree.
And somewhere along, they freaked out. They spent all night. I mean, she was wearing the same clothes the next day that she was wearing at the party with the whites.
Yeah.
And the whites aren't talking. I don't know what's going on here, but at the end of the day, it's insane to believe that somebody snuck in there. Something happened in that house that night, and it got messy.
I agree with you that I think it was the brother.
Yeah.
Whether it was unintentional or intentional, and they did a bunch of things to try to cover it up or create some sort of narrative how it wasn't them, but it was someone in that house. Like the grate, somebody came in through the grate and hid just to kill her.
There was cobwebs on the grate.
Yeah.
So it was impossible that ever happened.
Yep.
The only thing that bothers me about these cases, it's the same thing on the OJ side. Because once you watch the OJ trial, these documentaries that have come out today, I mean, OJ couldn't have been more guilty.
Oh, I know.
I mean, the amount of evidence is just absolutely insane. But the fact that when it's all said and done, nobody ever admits it. So you never actually get that real closure. And I'm not saying I'd ever murder anybody, but if I did, I think on my deathbed, I'd be like, you know what, I did it.
Yep. Hey, guys,
but
listen.
they don't.
No. You never know. And it's probably one of my hardest things when I do watch all these documentaries that I do watch. There's really not a lot of closure at the end of them. It's just another mystery.
Yeah, nobody ever admits it.
Yep.
And it's crazy. I mean, all signs point to you, and you're like, no, it wasn't me. And I'm like, no, it was.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you can psychologically convince yourself over time that somehow you didn't have anything to do with it, but OJ was one that for some reason I always thought that he would throw it out there. Now, granted, he wrote that book, If I Did It,
Yeah.
which basically said I did it. But, John Bonet, I mean, I don't know. The brother's still alive. He's fairly, he's probably in his 30s now.
And he was in the documentary for the Netflix one. Didn't they get him?
No,
he wasn't.
It was just the dad.
Oh, just the dad.
So
okay.
the dad's talking. Of course,
Yeah.
he's like, trying to act like he didn't have any clue. What
I think like the brother to me, something happened and the parents covered it up.
Yep. Well, I think we're 2 for 2 on Ball Bros agreeing with this thing.
All right. Our next case. This is one that I kind of really dove into. This was one, for those of you that don't know, I'm a humongous Dateliner. Love Dateline, subscribe to Dateline. Coming back late on a train from New York or super, super early in the morning. Like, you're getting into a grind. I like listening to a Dateline. Long run. If I don't really want to grind it out on some music, I'll get like a case going. You're getting into a good rhythm.
Yeah.
Huge Dateliner. And this one I initially heard on Dateline, and then I became pretty involved in this one. I love this one, and it's the Karen Reed trial.
I love it. And let's just talk about Dateline for a second, because I feel like it is, it's like training for murderers.
Yeah.
And you just look at all the things, and I'm like, geez. And you can see what stupid people do. The fact that people go to like a Home Depot and they get all of their things to murder somebody, and then they're like, here they are buying this big blue tub and this. And I'm like,
and all this duct tape and these zip ties.
it's all there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what?
And a hatchet.
Home Depot at this point should just put the murderer's kit together and just put it up there in this big blue bucket so they can just come by and grab that son of a bitch, because it's insane. And then you see all these different ways. And the one that always stuck out to me, and I'll give her a lot of credit because she was methodical and slow of how she went about it, was the lady who would put a little bit of antifreeze in her husband's drink every night. And this, once again, shows you how stupid people are. She gets away with the first one. She whacks them, and I guess it crystallizes really slowly in your veins. So she kills her first husband, and then she marries again, and she does the same thing.
Antifreeze lady. Yeah, I forget who she is, but yeah, she's...
Yeah. And I'm like, either you like murdering your husbands, or you have bad taste in men, and you just want to donk them off.
Like, I'll tell you, the biggest thing for me, Dateline-wise, is I try to listen to how many crimes, murders do we listen to on them that aren't the spouse, boyfriend, whatever. It's got to be in the single digits, because they do everything to paint this great couple, and then like at like the 30-minute mark, you're like, he did it.
Oh yeah,
shocker.
Yeah. The first 10 minutes is about how great their relationship was, and then they paint
everyone loved them.
A great picture of this person, and then all of a sudden they just muddy the waters up. But you noticed if you're going to get murdered, you probably know the person who's going to donk you off.
The Dateliners say that there's it's in like the 90% that you knew your murder. There's not an enormous amount of random murdering like that in that sense.
No. So look around. Pay attention to
who you're associating with.
Your family's probably going to kill you.
Yeah, I think Bree sometimes says she thinks she can get away with killing me.
I could see Bree doing the antifreeze.
Yeah. She could be. Yeah, she would do it nice and slow. She would like a slow pain. Yeah. Antifreeze. Well, and just why? Basically because I snore too much, and she'll be like, I gotta get rid of him.
Gotta take him down.
Yeah.
And This is terrible to say, but there's this one area on this road, and I used to always joke around with Andrea because like you got to kind of come across this intersection, and I was like there was a time where her and I put a lot of hours into Dateline, and I remember saying, the oncoming traffic is coming this way. I used to joke around, I was like, if I was going to take you out, this would probably be the spot. So even today when we go across it, she's looking at me. I'm like, I'm going to go. We're good.
It's when you drive to the shore. I was just listening to a Dateline. They were talking about the Pine Barrens in South Jersey. And
what's that?
It's like this. It's an insane amount of acres of just woods, just in South Jersey, just woods. And they actually paint the picture of, and if you were going to try to make somebody disappear, this is the place to do it. And I'm like, I've been down that road.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And it goes to, most of the people that, again, they kill somebody and they go to hide the body, the places they hide the body, it's like, I would go all the way in the woods. Like, I feel like I could cover it up with brush. They just dig a hole. They go a foot in and they dig the hole and they just kind of pat it on top, and it's so noticeable.
There's one I'm listening to now. This could be on the next crime one. Is the Karen Bobo case? Have you heard about this one?
I don't think so. Great last name though.
It is, but it's in Tennessee, and they kind of go through, and they have these guys that they end up kind of getting them, and then they change their stories. It's pretty good. It's like a subsidiary of Dateline.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, it's definitely something you could listen to. But
I'm already
back to Karen Reed.
Yeah. Oh wait, one more fun fact.
Oh.
You know who also is a huge fan of Dateline?
Besides you and me, no.
Diddy.
You're kidding me.
I'm not. They said Diddy would lay in his hotel bed and like have people bring him stuff as he like watched Dateline reruns.
Shocker. Not surprising.
No.
But we'll get to him later.
Okay.
But the Karen Reed trial.
Yeah.
This to me is such a wild scene. Now, for those of you that don't know about Karen Reed, Karen Reed is a woman in Massachusetts. She was dating a Boston police officer. They, in essence, after a night of drinking and partying in a major snowstorm outside of Boston, they find the body of her boyfriend laying on the front lawn off the side of the road of this house. The house was owned by a township police officer of the town they were in, and another person that was at the party was an ATF agent, and the family. They all went there after a bar, after partying. They were all drunk, and she's being accused of hitting and running over and killing her boyfriend, leaving the scene. And there's a lot of loose ends on this.
Yeah.
I have some theories on it, and initially my theory is I think Karen Reed's innocent. How about you?
This is the one that I watched, and I was really torn. I feel like I usually have a very strong opinion.
Okay.
But I would disagree. I think she's guilty.
Okay.
And I think the closing arguments in the second trial are today.
Yeah, I know this is ongoing. That's why this is part of our
it's great.
Part of our pod.
The idea that all those people would align themselves with this lie, I think, is far-fetched.
Agreed.
But I'm with you.
Okay.
If you look at the house, if you can put it right here, Chris, the driveway is here, and the guy's over here. That's where they find the body. And I still can't figure out, well, she hit him with the car, and then what? How did he end up way over there? That's the part I can't figure out.
She had to have smoked him to be out where he was. Now I've gotten involved in this a little bit. The thing that I find difficult is my theory is that she thought when she dropped him off, he went into the house. I think he went into the house. I think he got into an altercation with somebody in the house. I don't think it was the guy who owned the house, who was a police officer, or the ATF guy. I think it was a drunk son and friends of the son that were there. I think something happened, and I think they threw him out on the lawn. Now, when they took her car to the impound, this is new research that I just heard recently, is that the guy who owned the house and his friend went into the bay where the car was, and they were unsupervised in there for about an hour.
Well, there is video that shows, they asked whether the head cop, who, I think
it's O'Keefe. I think his name is, O'Keefe was...
O'Keefe was the guy.
Yeah, John O'Keefe was the one. I got some info here for those of you that see me looking down. John O'Keefe was the guy who was murdered.
Right. Who was the lead investigator that he got whacked because if you haven't seen him on trial, he gets massacred.
The state trooper?
The guy who was investigating.
Oh, yeah, he's gone. He's gone.
Did you see the text messages he was sending?
Oh, with his friends?
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. It's
They're brutal.
What they would... She's hot, but maybe not. She's...
All kinds of stuff.
Some stuff.
He's throwing things out there all over the place. And they try to show that maybe he was by the taillight and he went out there and threw those things out. I mean, there's a lot of craziness here. But the way she was acting on like the calling over and over, I mean, there's just a lot of stuff here that I would have to say at the end of the day, it swings towards her more than it swings towards this massive group of people. Because at this point, you're up to like 10 people.
Oh, yeah.
That have all had to align with this story. Now, you got the butt dials that seem a little crazy.
I agree.
You got all those people would have to say, or were her looking up how long to die in the snow.
Yep.
Is interesting, but the explanation to that is plausible, and I didn't realize this. I can't. There's no way I can explain it, but I don't know. At the end of the day, I think we might have to disagree on this.
Well, my question is this: is there enough evidence to convict her? Do you think?
What will happen is, you have the first trial where you hire these super lawyers that did a great job.
By the way, she's dating the one lawyer now. Her initial lawyer.
Come on, Phil.
I know.
I saw him hugging in the documentary. I thought something looked a little fresh there. I'm glad you said that.
I saw it.
I thought to myself, this seems more than a lawyer.
Yeah.
The guy who did the closing.
A friend of mine gave me that info.
That's great. I love that. So she goes full-fledged in this thing and hires top-notch lawyers, and they do a phenomenal job. And at that point, it's a hung jury. So then they retry it. And I don't think what will happen is either it'll continue to be a hung jury or it'll get to a point where she's found guilty. I highly doubt.
Or innocent.
I don't think you'll get all the jurors to back that. I think you'll get and they'll keep trying it because it's a cop. So they're going to make sure that somebody.
Can you keep, how many times can you retry a trial if it's hung?
Now, I'm not an expert.
We didn't go to law school.
No, we did not.
I think we touched on that on a previous episode.
We did. I thought about it for a second.
Yeah,
and then you know what? When I watched that guy giving those closing arguments, like he was so good, and I thought to myself, "That's what I'm talking."
I think I could give a closing argument. The biggest thing about me being a lawyer is there's no way academically I could have gotten into law school.
No, but man, like to be, and the hard part is like the fun one. It'd be.
We'd have to study. We're not studying.
Yeah, we're not going to study. But if you're going to be a lawyer, man, you want to be a defense lawyer.
Yeah.
Like that's where the fun is.
And I think they wear cool suits.
They should.
They dress better.
Yeah.
My opinion.
The prosecutor in that case, he was a clown.
Yeah.
He was so bad. And her guy was good. So if I kept, this thing could go on multiple trials. I don't know how many hung jurors you can have, but I would say there is zero chance she'll ever be found not guilty because there's way too many things that still do point to her. So on this, she will go to jail.
All right. So on this one, we're split. I think she's innocent. You think she's guilty? We'll stamp that one as we to each his own.
Yeah, and we'll get an update. We'll see what's up.
Yep.
But don't forget, like she's also sending some text messages to that other cop.
Oh, I'm not. Listen, I'm not. She's insane. She's a complete, utter insane person.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that. I still think something went down. Now I do agree. That's a lot of people that are collaborating on a story.
And it's also they had a COVID relationship, which I'm pretty sure if you started your relationship during COVID because you were bored.
It's an excellent point.
That's not a great foundation for love. No,
I agree.
At that point, you know what they say? You're looking for love in all the wrong places. That's just a fact.
I think that there's a lyric in a rap song about that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to the main entree.
I mean, you got to talk about the update. It's the biggest trial of the year. It's the biggest trial probably since OJ.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the Diddy trial. Now,
we can't help ourselves.
Let's just start off with my favorite thing to kick this whole thing off is because we touched on the Menendezes earlier. They're dressing Diddy up like a Menendez.
Yeah, they
in
are.
a sweater.
They try to make him look good.
Yeah.
And I'm shocked. Diddy's so gray.
Yeah, He wore a leather jumpsuit and danced on stage with Mace.
Yeah.
Like, he's not a sweater guy.
No, I actually forgot about that with the Menendez. Yeah, they try to make him look like these nice, buttoned up, like 17-year-old boys. Like they're all, Diddy's out there looking like he goes to church every Sunday. I'm like, come on.
Like he's in Boys to Men.
Well, and he looks like he's 70 years old.
Oh, I know.
I mean, that's interesting.
There's no hair dye.
No.
Or beard dye.
There's none.
In prison, I'm imagining.
Well, and did you see Kevin Hart's? I think it was the BET Awards. Like he was talking. He does a great bit about not having any after parties. It's really good. And you can see everyone's almost like stunned. Like nobody even wants to laugh at it.
Now some people. We'll get into some people that have gone into hiding after this, but I'm going to tell you, this Diddy, he's a sociopath.
Oh, he definitely is.
Oh.
The part that I would say though is I could see him getting off because what they're charging him with just seems strange.
Racketeering, right?
Yeah, I mean, again,
trafficking.
Yeah, I think. But then you got, I don't know. I could just somehow see where people are like, look, like this is dumb. You know, he is a sociopath. He's
a horrible person.
Not a good person.
Yeah.
But I'm like, well, why are we like what you're charging with just doesn't seem like it fits the crime.
Right.
Now I don't know if you can charge someone for being an insane person, you know, but it's Hollywood, and you see this over and over again. These guys, they get a taste of fame, they get all this money, and they just lose their mind.
For those of you that live under a rock and have no idea what's going on with Diddy, he's being charged with sex trafficking, racketeering, transporting individuals for prostitution. Now,
but see, he didn't transport.
That's where I do agree with you on this.
And Cassie was the one who was.
She's initiating conversations. Now, listen, I feel terrible for her.
Terrible. She was in a tough spot.
I feel awful for her. But when you look at the facts, like it's like when a defense attorney talks to their client and the client goes, "Do you think I did it?" And the person's like, "I don't care. My job is to prove that you did it."
Yeah.
It's almost in a sense that way that Diddy's lawyers are just like, all we have to do is convince that there's holes in these charges. And they may.
I feel like this will be a hung jury. I feel like that's where it goes.
And you think Diddy walks?
Well, I don't know if you're a hung jury if he actually gets out. And
I don't know. I don't know either.
But again, this is one of those things that it's like I could see this one kind of getting hung up there too. But
no, but
stories.
I think where you were headed. I think these celebrities, and I think in a lot of cases it happens to athletes or public figures. They live a life where no one ever tells them no.
No.
That you just have to continue to push it as far possible. Like I come home, I'm like, hey, do you guys want to go here for dinner? My whole family says no. I hear it all the time.
All right, where do we want to go?
All right, fine. Like, where do you guys want to go?
Yeah.
Like no one's ever telling them no.
Never. And especially with him. And
yeah.
If you told him no, sounds like he got pretty angry about that. But and I don't know, like, why wouldn't you charge him with like abuse? I mean, you got it on videotape. Like that's not part of the trial.
Yeah. That's because I don't think she ever pressed charges for that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, Phil. Come on. It's right there on the videotape.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
And there's got to be like other things. Like, and maybe this is another one of those scenarios like, hey, like it doesn't matter. They're going to keep coming for you. But I mean, just the stuff that comes out of here, it's a head scratcher for your boy.
Now I look at it this way. Can you imagine being in that courtroom and you hearing and you listening like Cassie's giving her testimony. She's pregnant.
Yeah.
Her husband's in there.
Diddy's kids are in there.
Could you imagine hearing this?
If I'm Diddy, I'm telling my family, please don't come to this.
Yeah.
You're going to hear things about your dad that you really shouldn't hear.
I don't think he cares.
They're hugging.
Yeah, to them it's a Tuesday.
Oh, I know.
That's where I find it so crazy. But
I couldn't look my kids in the eye.
I could never look at my kids again. Be like, hey guys, listen, like,
don't look at me.
I'm a horrible human. I'll pay for your college.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, when I saw they were coming, I think he warned them too. You're going to hear some things about me, like, and you can't deny them. I mean, the text messages are there. Always ready for a free call.
I always look at this, and I'm trying to get the dates together. The whole time, all this is going on with Cassie. Was he dating or with that woman, Kim Porter, who passed away?
No, that was after.
After?
But
Now
the
she,
biggest,
now she passed away. I thought that was a little odd.
I'm sure that's suspect.
Yeah.
He watches Dateline.
Yeah.
We got.
Yeah.
There's things we can go back in time and start looking at some things. But the biggest question for me is, at when did he become this type of person? Because J-Lo, was she involved in this?
I think so. You start connecting all these dots. Like J-Lo was back with Ben Affleck. There must have been, as the term is, some scuttlebutt of this about to happen, and then all of a sudden, her and Ben Affleck separate. Because if you're Ben Affleck, you're like, oh, I'm getting away from this. I just want to do a bad Dunkin' Donuts commercial about iced coffee and get away from this stuff at this point. Now.
Yeah, and a cigarette.
Yeah.
But I'll give this to Hollywood. They can keep secrets. I mean, the amount of nonsense that kind of leaks out a little bit, and you're like, wow, like, how did no one talk about that? It's crazy. And the whole Diddy thing, it's like everybody knew about Diddy, but no one, talked about it publicly.
Except for 50.
50 did.
And he don't care.
He does not.
No.
And now, to your point earlier, like, he's calling out Jay-Z, and I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
I was expecting to see through this trial this huge list. Remember Busby? He had all these people.
Yes.
Like, I want to see a list of all the celebrities that are tied into this thing, and let's have a hoedown of insanity.
Because how are you going to tell me that you have all these famous people at the white party? Like, everybody's waiting in line, begging to get invited to that white party, but you didn't know anything about the freak-offs?
Well, a lot of them, I've seen them in interviews. They claim that they were not asked about it, but we know that's a big lie.
We know that was a big lie.
Yeah. Because who did I see the other day that was talking about this?
Well, anyone that they interview, they're like, we had no idea that was going on.
No,
really? You're walking around with a champagne bottle.
Yeah.
If I walk around all night with a champagne bottle, I'm blacking out.
Yeah, with Cristal.
Yeah. No, I'm not drinking Cristal.
We would have brewed at our parties.
Be super hungover.
Which is amazing. When it comes to champagne, I can only name 2 types of champagne. The highest end, Cristal, and Brut. And then I know there's stuff in between there.
And you know what? I'm the same way.
And I don't.
Ace of Spades, is that?
Oh yeah, that's Jay-Z's.
Is that champagne?
Yeah, it's Jay-Z's.
Remember that one time in Italy we drank all that rosé?
Well, I didn't.
Whoa, you didn't.
Yeah.
You were the only person.
I had too much fun the night before.
Yeah. You couldn't recover. I was actually pretty unimpressed by that, Bosh.
Yeah, that was.
You almost threw up on a ferry.
Yeah, I did. It was a lot of exhaust fumes.
Yeah.
There was twice in my life that, and they were both at events that my recovery time the next day was slow. The other one was in the Bahamas.
Was I there?
I think so. It's where Chuck Bodie was getting up at like 4:00 in the morning to actually wake up, and I'm like,
That's it.
banging into his door.
Can you imagine waking up at 4:00 in the morning?
No, and it's amazing how like Mark Wahlberg gets up at like 3:30 and just starts working out.
Did you ever watch the videos?
Of who?
Super weird.
Of Wahlberg?
Yeah, could you imagine living with him? I'd just leave. I would like, you're too weird. Like, he does way too much stuff before 7 a.m. He ice plunges. He works out. I think he meditates. He goes to church.
Yeah, it's a long way from.
He eats 77 meals in a day. Like, it's insane.
He's a long way away from Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, which I heard he gets upset if you bring that up to him.
I know.
What was their hit song?
Feel it, baby.
Feel it, baby?
Feel the vibration.
Oh, feel the vibration. Which, you know what? It's corny, but when the song comes on, I'll be honest, I like it.
That's a song that comes on, does not get turned off,
No.
and I'm dancing.
Do you turn it off?
Oh, big time.
Got to do it.
Big time. Big time. So we'll leave it with the Diddy. We'll follow. I mean, I think the Diddy, it's insane to me. The whole thing's crazy. The fact that people now all of a sudden like have amnesia with that they were part of it or have went into hiding, very bizarre.
You know what? We should become private investigators.
I love that.
Like if
We
we
start
go
a
in,
special division at Spartan Services.
Yeah, that's what we should do. We go into Hollywood, and we just start investigating,
Asking questions.
Yeah, let me talk to you real quick.
Yeah.
Who would you talk to first?
Well, do you think anyone would talk to us?
Yeah,
You do?
yeah, I do. I think we can convince them.
I'd like to talk to J-Lo.
I would talk to Lindsay Lohan.
Oh,
I think she's got all the secrets.
she's doing great.
Yeah, now she is.
Every holiday, I love seeing a Lindsay Lohan Christmas special.
Oh, yeah, I know.
She's great.
Isn't that funny?
Oh, she's a Netflix superstar to me.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, if I see a trailer and I see she's in it, I don't even need to watch the trailer. We're watching it.
Phil, I think I've seen every one of Lindsay Lohan's movies.
Me too.
Yeah. I mean, people used to clown me all the time. Like, I think Lindsay Lohan's great. I even like Party Time Lindsay when she was hanging out with Paris Hilton and all them, grooving it up.
She's living a great life now.
Yeah. Well, she lived a great life. The early 2000s for her, it was her, Paris Hilton, Britney, like rock starring it up.
Kim K. Early on.
Well, that's when Kim K was Paris Hilton's assistant.
Yeah.
Which again seems strange nowadays, but yeah, it's amazing what 20 years will do, man. It really changes. You know, Lohan, I think she's married right now.
She is.
She have a kid?
I don't know.
Yeah, Kim K's worth
We could
like
say,
$1 trillion.
you know what? What we'll do is on a future episode when we have our wives on, we'll do it as celebrity talk.
You know, that sounds like a great idea
Yeah.
because I think our wives, they'll be into him.
Yeah, celebrity talk will be good.
Yeah.
But let's close this out, Blodgett, on a couple things that I wrote down here that I think are good summer talk. We're gonna end it on a little bit of a high note with summer talk.
A little lightheartedness.
Lightheartedness, summer talk.
Yeah.
And here's a question for me to you. I feel as though we might be a little bit aligned in this, but we'll see. Do you change your cocktails by season? Like, are you drinking different cocktails in the summer versus in the winter?
Well, you'd be 100% correct there, Phil. Of course I do. Now, red wine is, it's all seasons.
Right.
But seltzers in the summertime, I think I've told you this, we call it Seltzer Saturday. There's nothing better than sitting around sipping on some seltzers.
Absolutely.
And if it's a lot of fun, you have Seltzer Sunday, and you just keep the party rolling. And I've gotten to a point now that, I mean, high noons just are the best, right?
I'm a statesider.
I like stateside.
But I'll go there. But yes, I'll do this. And I'm going to give a shout out to a friend of mine, Paul Ruiz. He was the first one, this is probably 7-8 years ago maybe, where we would go somewhere, he was never drinking beer. He was slim canning before slim canning was cool.
All right.
And and now at this point, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
In this, I'll drink more beer and maybe bourbon in the winter. I drink no bourbon in the summer.
You know what? Now that I think about it,
I don't drink a lot of bourbon in the summer. I drink a lot of white wine in the summer.
I'm not a white wine guy.
Oh, huge Sauvignon Blanc guy. Huge. And listen, everybody can judge me all they want. You guys know me. I don't really give a crap.
Yeah, I know. Phil likes what he likes.
Yeah. But I love a good Sauvignon Blanc.
You know,
I love a stateside.
And I don't think I've ever given white wine the attention that I gave red wine. Like in college, everyone would get Franzia.
Oh, no.
You know the box wine?
Yeah.
And I think that was the only time I ever really kind of tried white wine. We even used to do box wine stands instead of keg stands. We do it with the box wine. Didn't work as well, but we gave it a shot.
There's a girl I know in college who'd show up to every party with a box of wine. We called her Box of Wine Kelly.
Yeah. Well, shout out to my mother-in-law, my mom. Back in the day, she rocked
Box of wine.
the box wine.
Pinot Gris?
No. She likes Pinot Noir.
Oh.
And I got to tell you, there was one kind that she had. I tap it a little bit.
You would drink anything that's wet
At
at some point.
I'll be honest, it wasn't terrible. And but then I became a cab guy. So I'm out of Pinot Noirs. I think I've graduated, is what I would say, is into the cabs.
I'm a cabber as well. I don't drink nearly as much red wine as I do in the winter. If I have a steak, I'll always have a glass of red wine with it.
I mean, it's an insult
Yeah.
not to.
If you're doing anything else, you're just weird or you don't know what you're doing.
Well, I've been at restaurants. We're at a steakhouse, a nice steakhouse, and somebody would drink like a Coors Light with the steak.
No,
I find that appalling.
And I'll tell you this.
That's weird.
I love Coors Light.
Yeah.
It's my go-to beer. But if I'm making the financial commitment to a fillet, I'm not drinking it with a Coors Light.
There's no way.
No way.
And I know my dad would. I mean, because that's all he drinks is Coors Light. And he'd be upset probably if it was in a bottle. He wants it in a can.
Actually, I have to think about that too. My father-in-law would drink a Heineken with a fillet, but you know what? To each his own. But I definitely am a Cabernet guy with my steak.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, huge white wine, love statesides, and big Coors Lighter in the. And if I'm getting after it, if it's going to be a night where I'm really dialing one in, I'm just going to do vodka and club soda straight. But I'm big on. I don't deviate. Once I make a decision to something, I'm not moving, because if I make a movement, I get super hungover.
I respect that. If it's a hot day and we're outside, it's Miller Lite, if we're on, or a seltzer. Dinner, red wine. Late night, bourbon.
Well, we also late night that red wine. That one time we went to
The Fiji bottle.
no, that was a DB after party. The when we went to, I think it was KJ's 50th birthday, when we went to your place at the beach.
Oh yeah.
And you, me, and Tim Dormer had a bunch of red wine and some pizza. I have a picture. We'll share the picture with everyone in the.
Yeah, we'll put it up there. Pop up. It's 2:30 in the morning. We're enjoying some pizza to goes.
That was a rough ferry ride back to South Jersey, which brings us to my last point of our last topic of the pod, and you and I can speak on each side of this: the shore versus the beach.
Yeah.
Now you go to the beach.
I do.
I go to the shore.
Yep.
I think each one has its own pros and cons. And we've both experienced each one. So do you find yourself, because you have a place there, are you more of a beach guy versus a shore guy, or did you like both sides of it?
Well, where you're at, Phil, I think I would call it a little bit classier than where I am.
Yeah.
Because you have what, the Chisney? What do they call that thing?
The jitney.
The jitney that picks people up.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, we're in Seattle City, New Jersey. That's the shore. Parking is a premium. So once you get a parking spot, you really cannot move your car. And they have these small buses, I would say, that drive constantly up and down the main drag. It's a jitney. It's $3 or $4, maybe $5, depending on the night or the time of night. But it'll take you anywhere you need to go. And I think it's genius. It keeps a lot of cars off the road, especially for someone who's got kids riding their bikes all over the place. And two, the drunk driving is drastically down, so you don't have to. And unlike the thing that I find extremely different from the shore and the beach is the shore are these barrier islands right off of a main drag. So there is no main drag at the shore. You're 25, 30 miles an hour. You go from Cape May all the way to Atlantic City. You're driving. That's the speed limit you're going. Maybe Ocean City, you get to 35, but that's it. The beach, you got a beach town, and you got a highway running right down the middle of it.
We do.
Yep.
And where you have the jitney, we have the party bus.
Yeah. Hey.
People are doing bus flips. They're having a great time. It used to cost $1, but I think with inflation, it's up to $2.
Yeah,
now.
we've had a little inflation impact as well.
Yeah, but you can see there's a wild difference between the town that I'm hanging in and where you are. And don't get me wrong, we went to Kicks.
We went to Kicks, karaoke.
We crushed the karaoke.
Yep. You and Andrea sang, I forget, it's the Lady Gaga Bradley Cooper song.
Yeah.
In fact, it was on last night. We were listening to it, and we laughed, Bree and I, that Andrea held her part fairly well.
Yeah,
not only did you not know your part, even though the words are on the screen and you could have read them, you quit at one point in the song.
Yeah, I wasn't doing so well.
No.
Now, what I have decided was, last karaoke, I gave it a shot to sing Semi-Charm Kind of Life.
How'd that go?
So it was funny that even the DJ, or is that what they call him?
Yeah, it's a DJ. Master of ceremonies, karaoke master of ceremonies.
When he reads that I'm going to do it, 'cause that song gets really fast. He's like, "Oh, I gotta hear this," and I did good for like maybe I was doing pretty well for like the first 45 seconds, and then I just tanked.
The song's probably 4 minutes long, so
it's a long one.
So you're good for about 25%.
Yeah. But this sounds lame, but sometimes at my house with my girls and Andrew, we'll practice karaoke.
It's not lame at all.
Oh,
I like it. Yeah, if you want to do that, we'll do it.
Yeah, all right, we'll give it a shot. So, because YouTube has all the stuff you can do, so we did it, and I've been practicing. So I'm pretty sure my bucket list for 2025 is I'm going to nail that thing.
That song you've been practicing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think I got it.
All right. Well, listen, that sounds great.
Yeah. I mean, I always think that I can. I don't know why I did it. I always have such high hopes when it comes to music of things that I'll accomplish. But that's.
Well, I also think, and we're off topic. We'll be done with this shit. We're done at this point. We've moved on to karaoke. My whole thought is that I feel when you're singing in your car, shower, by yourself, you feel like you sound very good. Then when you sing a little bit in front of people, like if there's any singing going on at the Carey house, immediately they tell me how terrible I am at singing.
I think I'm more intrigued with the fact that you sing in the shower.
I think sing, like, not as much anymore. I do a lot of singing in the car. That's probably my big, that's where I do most of my singing. And I feel like I'm on stage at times.
You should.
But I'm also singing with the singer in the background.
Well, that's what it does.
Yeah. So,
and it makes you think you know all the words, but then when it's go time, like I have a buddy, Ken, great, he plays guitar, and we'll all hang out, and he'll bring the guitar out, and I sing too fast, I sing too slow, I mess the words up.
Does it annoy him?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know why? I find anyone that can play an instrument, it's super impressive to me. Like, that's a skill.
Yeah. I think we've talked about this before. If you go into my office, I mean, I got keyboards, I got guitars, and I can't figure out for the life of me how to play any of them, but I want to so bad.
Did you buy them for yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know this.
I mean, if I could play...
You bought a keyboard.
Yeah.
2 keyboards, so you could play the piano.
I did. And, YouTube... Here's the deal. If you watch some of these YouTube videos, and that'll show you how to play it, and I can get the right hand to move the way you want it to, but the second you enter that left hand, like this one automatically stops. So that's why I give so much props to Billy Joel and Elton John and all those guys. Like, that's hard. And then for Billy to play...
I find people that, like, when you see a band where the lead singer is also, like, the lead guitarist...
It's insane.
It's insane to me.
Yeah. I mean... You ever see, rubbing your belly and patting your head?
I can't do that.
It's hard.
No way. I'm not even going to try it.
No, you shouldn't. It's not as easy as it seems. But these musically inclined people, a lot of props to them because they nail it. But
it goes in anybody like a musical town. I'll leave you. We'll leave it with this one. But we were going to a Maroon 5 concert. We were in a party bus on our way down to the Maroon 5 concert. I was just looking for a good time. I'm not a humongous Maroon 5 fan. So we get into the conversation about Adam Levine. And I'm like, yes, he's got all these tattoos. It's kind of cool. But if he wasn't the lead singer of Maroon 5, would he be as good looking as... And they're like, well, you don't even know. Like, I'm like, I don't really find him. Like, I don't see what it is. Like, in all honesty, I don't think he's that good looking of a guy. It is what it is. After song 3 of Maroon 5, I turned around to everybody that we were with and I went, all right, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, you find... people that can entertain like that. We were just at the Post Malone concert.
Oh, love Post Malone.
He was phenomenal.
What was the last concert you went to?
That was it. I went on to 3 in a row. I went to Teddy Swims with my mom.
Never heard of him.
You would know the song. He's got a couple. Phenomenal. He's a very, very good performer. Followed that up with I went to see Chris Stapleton. And the king of country music. Now I can't forget his name. Everyone's going to make fun of me. But
king of country music.
Yeah.
Luke Combs.
No, Texas guy, older gentleman. He
Texas
headlined.
Guy.
He headlined the whole George Strait.
Oh, George Strait.
George Strait.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know if I knew any George Strait songs to like them. He was good. Chris Stapleton was unbelievable. And
He's the one who did the national anthem.
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
And then I followed that up with the following weekend with the Jelly Roll Post Malone concert.
Not a Jelly Roll guy, but I love Post Malone. You know what the last one I went to?
What?
Megan Maroney.
Love her.
I never heard her before. We got my girls Megan Maroney tickets for Christmas, and we go to the show. Phil, let me explain.
I can only imagine what a Megan Maroney concert looks like.
Oh, I'll explain to you. So let's say there's 10,000 people at this venue in DC. There was 9,997 women, mostly between the age of probably 15 and 25. And then there was 3 dudes. And I was like, what is going on here? Like, the bathroom line for the women was all the way around the door. There's 3 guys. We're just hanging in the bathroom. What's up, guys?
No line for beers. No line for bathroom.
No, there was not. And there I am. She's okay.
I'll tell you this.
People try to say she's Taylor Swift, and I have to disagree.
No. I actually think there's a handful of country music women, same age, that I think are better than her. Dasha, I think, is better than her. I mean, we can go into the whole women of country music. I kind of like some of the new ones. She's good. Like, hey, listen, you're going to sing a song about Tennessee Orange because you didn't date Morgan Wallen. We know you did. The song's about him. But
I got to say, our boy Morgan's getting around out there.
He's having fun.
If you were to say the queen of country music is...
Besides Dolly Parton?
Yeah.
She's the queen of country music.
She's like the innovator of...
All right. Who do I think's one of the... the biggest name now?
No. Just the Queen. Like they call Michael Jackson like the king of pop.
Well, Dolly Parton's the queen of country music.
She is.
Yeah, big time. She's Miley Cyrus's godmother.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm going like for me. Let's put Dolly Parton is like she's like Elvis.
Faith Hill. Faith Hill's big. Who are you saying?
Shania Twain.
Shania Twain. Yeah, she's Canadian.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
which is strange. Canadian country singer. And
now I'll tell you.
And big ups to my boy Colin Keating and Kyle Keating, huge Shania Twain fans.
Oh, yeah. I did not know that. Now Lainey Wilson, I think, is the biggest female country music star right now.
I know the name.
Yeah, she sings some duets that are pretty good. But I'll tell you this about Morgan Wallen. I saw Morgan Wallen open for Florida Georgia Line.
Love Florida Georgia Line.
And my friend Ryan Duckwood smoked a cigarette with him outside.
Oh, really?
No one knew who he was.
He smoked cigs?
Yeah.
It's funny. I ask my kids all the time, does anyone smoke cigs anymore? They're like, no.
No way.
They vape.
They're moving away from the vape now. I don't know what these kids are all in the zins.
Oh, the zins.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, everyone. We kind of went off on a crazy tangent here on Ball Bros, but that's what we do here. We just touch on everything that's important.
Yeah. It is important.
Yeah. You know, again, it's the Ball Bros of Flooring podcast. Again, we do exactly what we like to do and not talk about any flooring. So it's just Ball Bros now.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to slide into our DMs and ask us our thoughts on
any of the topics that we've covered, cases, we'll respond.
Slide in.
We'll respond because
our DMs,
no one's ever done it before.
We have an open DM.
Yeah, ask us anything. We're ready. All right, there you go. Blodgett, happy Father's Day to you.
Happy Father's Day to you too,
Thank
my brother.
you.